The field of neurotheology, also known as spiritual neuroscience or the neuroscience of religion, seeks to understand religious experiences and behaviors through a neuroscientific lens. The approach focuses on linking neural phenomena to subjective spiritual experiences, offering possible explanations for these phenomena. This contrasts with the psychological study of religion, which emphasizes mental states over neural ones. Advocates for neurotheology posit that our neurological structure and evolutionary progression are responsible for the subjective experiences we typically label as spiritual or religious. This field has inspired a range of popular science literature. The term neurotheology was first coined by Aldous Huxley in his utopian novel, Island. The concept is used by some scientists to explore the brain's part in religious experiences and spirituality, although it is not universally accepted in the scientific community. The term neurotheology has already gained traction in published scientific literature. As of December 2020, there were 68 articles featuring the term in the citation indexing service provided by the Institute for Scientific Information and several pages of references in Google Scholars. Lawrence O. McKinney, an educator and businessman, fueled the field's momentum with his 1994 book Neurotheology, Virtual Religion in the 21st Century. The book was written for a wide audience and featured in the theological journal Zygon. McKinney argued that the origins of religious inquiry are rooted in recent developments in developmental neurophysiology. He suggested that our evolved prefrontal cortex constructs an illusion of chronological time, creating existential questions that have spurned religious explanations. The narrative explores the intriguing crossroad between neuroscience and religion. The story delves into human mind's perception of self as infinite, deeply connected with all beings, perceived when devoid of sensory inputs. This fascinating field of study, neurotheology, seeks to unravel the brain's rendering of religious and spiritual experiences. Critics, however, insist that neuroscience with its traditional tools is sufficient to probe these mysteries without requiring dedicated neurotheological methods. Eugene Druerman, a radical Catholic theologian, brought into play contemporary neuroscientific research to challenge conventional views of God and the soul, demanding a reevaluation of religion. Various theories have been proposed over time exploring the evolutionary origin and psychology behind religion. The story outlines the groundwork laid by British biologist Alistair Hardy, whose endeavor to collate first-hand accounts of spiritual experiences led to the establishment of the Religious Experience Research Center at Oxford. During the same period, Michael Persinger made headlines when stimulating the human temporal lobes with weak magnetic fields led a majority of his subjects to experience a divine presence, using a contraption infamously called the God helmet. He faced criticism, however, for lack of rigorous control over the variables at play. Skeptics argued that his experiments lacked double-blind methodology, pointing the finger at suggestibility and personality traits as responsible for the participants' reported spiritual experiences rather than a magnetic field. A subsequent study attempted to replicate Persinger's experiments in a double-blinded fashion, however. They were unable to reproduce the original results. Persinger countered these criticisms, creating a debacle in the scientific community. Notably, an attempt to mimic Persinger's work in a controlled environment, a haunted room with electromagnetic fields, failed to induce a sense of divine presence. Instead, participants' personality traits and suggestibility were found to be reliable predictors of such experiences. This ongoing controversy continues to keep the realm of neurotheology fascinating. Vilayanur S. Ramachandran investigated the overzealous religious behavior observed in individuals with temporal lobe epilepsy, LE, using galvanic skin response, GSR, which indicates emotional arousal levels. He aimed to decipher if this behavior is triggered by a heightened emotional state or is specifically linked to religious stimuli in his study. Religious, neutral, and sexually activating words were presented to two subjects while their GSR was tracked. Patients with demonstrated intensified emotional reactions to religious verbiage, decreased reactions to sexual words, and normal reactions to neutral words. This research was presented at a neuroscience convention and mentioned in Ramachandran's book, Phantoms in the Brain. In similar vein, Mario Beauregard from the University of Montreal suggested that religious and spiritual experiences involve several brain regions rather than a solitary God spot. To conclude this, Beauregard used MRI imaging on Carmelite nuns to analyze their brain activity while they were asked to reminisce on their most intense mystical experiences. Other notable studies on the topic include a 2011 study by Duke University Medical Center, which revealed that older adults who have had transformative religious experiences, along with born-again Protestants, Catholics, and those without any religious affiliations, have associated hippocampal atrophy. A 2016 study utilizing MRI suggested that an essential feeling in the devotional practice of Mormons is consistently associated with activation in specific brain regions. Scientists in this field theorize that spiritual experiences stem from neurological physiology. There are speculations that increased levels of N,N-dimethyltryptamine in the pineal gland might contribute to spiritual experiences. The theory that religious experiences can be mirrored by stimulation of the temporal lobe due to psychoactive constituents of magic mushrooms has also gained some laboratory validation with respect to psilocybin yet. These theories have not been scientifically confirmed.